The Grand Slam board has announced a trial into a new format for the final set at all four majors. The Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon and US Open previously all had different rules for how to finish a match in the final set, but they will now all play a first to 10-point tiebreak at 6-6 starting from Roland Garros this year. The four Grand Slam tournaments previously all had different scoring systems for the final set. The Australian Open was the only major that adopted the new trial rule of a first to 10-point tiebreak at 6-6 in the final set, while the French Open had no tiebreak and needed a standard two-game advantage for a match to finish. Wimbledon and the US Open both have first to 7-point standard tiebreaks but at 12-12 and 6-6 in the final set respectively. On Wednesday, the Grand Slam board announced a new trial to unify the rules at the four majors, with the 10-point final set tiebreak selected as the method to use starting from the French Open, which begins on May 22. On behalf of the Australian Open, Roland Garros, Wimbledon and the US Open, the Grand Slam board are pleased to announce the joint decision to play a 10-point tiebreak at all Grand Slams, to be played when the score reaches 6 games all in the final set, the board wrote in a statement. Further to extensive consultation with the WTA, ATP, ITF and tennis officiating community, the Grand Slam board's decision is based on a strong desire to create greater consistency in the rules of the game at the Grand Slams, and thus enhance the experience for the players and fans alike. The trial will extend to qualifying, main draw, juniors and wheelchair events in singles. There will be slightly differing rules for doubles, as the statement reads. At the Australian Open, Roland Garros, and the US Open, the 10-point tie-break will be played in lieu of the final set for mixed doubles, junior doubles and wheelchair doubles. At Wimbledon, the format will remain the same as for the other events. The trial has been approved by the Rules of Tennis Committee governed by the ITF. Explaining the new rules, it continues, under this trial, if the score reaches 6 games all in the final set, the match winners will be the first players to win 10 points with an advantage of 2 or more points. The trial is set to run for the full year of a Grand Slam season, so no review or permanent change will be announced until after next year's Australian Open at the earliest. All of the Grand Slams except the US Open had previously let the final set play out until a player won by a 2-game advantage. It led to the longest match in history, a 3-day encounter between John Isner and Nicholas Mahut in the first round of Wimbledon back in 2010, eventually won by the American 6-4, 3-6, 6-7, 7-700 and 6-3, 70-68 after play was suspended 2 evenings in a row for fading light. In 2018, Isner was involved in another marathon match, losing the final set of his semi-final against Kevin Anderson as the South African took it 26-24. It prompted a rule change at the All England Club a year later, with a standard first to 7-point tiebreak played at 12-12 in the final set, with its first use in the men's singles draw in 2019 coming in the final between Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer. Earlier in 2019, the Australian Open had also introduced a tiebreak, but the first to 10-point format at 6-6, now being trialled across the four majors.